What's up, fellas? This is just going to be a mission overview of Operation Pagrae. So basically this is simulating a NATO landing near the air base at Gelenzek, however you pronounce that. And one of the support carriers involved with the landing is beached and is vulnerable. So the objectives here are pretty simple. I'll just go through it really quick on the map. So if you read the debriefing here, it tells you basically what's going on. And if you look at the map, you can see that I've got an American-based carrier over here, and I've got the Russian aircraft carrier over here, and they're racing to help save the Tarawa, which is here, and this is the air base that was involved with the amphibious landing. There are armored units moving up towards Marina Brosha, however you want to pronounce that, and we also have Russian units, armored units, going in to recapture the air base. And here on the hill we have artillery, and if you're the good guys, the Americans, good guys, however you see it, your objective is to take out that artillery with the Hueys before that artillery has a chance to fire on the base, to fire on the base's command center, which is located right here, and then also firing on the Tarawa, which is right here. Now the Tarawa has some pretty good defensive capabilities, not to mention 2 Harriers taking off her deck. There's 2 A-10s that are basically to attack the Russian air base on the opposite side of the bay, and this is where In Flames' Mirage will also take off from this location. Now over here, this is the Russian base on the opposite side of the bay. This is where the Su-25s, the Su-27s, and MiG-29s, they're all here, but I have Su-25s that are not pilotable. It's part of the critical part of the mission, that are taking off from the strip right away. So if you take off in an Su-25, or if you do the missions for the Su-25, the MiG-29, the Su-27, you'll have to taxi out to the runway. The Ka-50s are taking off from here, and these are not the ones that are pilotable. I put one on the aircraft carrier, but I'm thinking about moving it because it might be too far away. But in any case, these Ka-50s are en route to support the Russian armor on the other side of the bay. So, and then on the opposite side here, this is where the Su-33 takes off, and also a Ka-50 should you choose to pilot it off the aircraft carrier. And they are all steaming right towards each other, and it is pretty fun to watch. It's like, you know, the AI has its issues sometimes. You know, it doesn't do what it's supposed to do, and a lot of this is trial and error, trying to make things work the way it would in real life, and that's a challenge in itself. But you know, there's a lot of trial and error, just trying things, retrying things, changing timing. I mean, it's just lots of hours and hours and hours went into programming all these waypoints, how all of these interact with each other, who's supposed to attack who, and are the rules correct for those aircraft, and are they correct for the armies that field those aircraft. So that's basically the idea behind this, and it is hypothetical. And normally each aircraft carrier would have a bunch of support ships, and originally I did that. But when I did the support ships, it tended to really bog down and cause a drop in FPS, because it was just, there was so much going on with all of the missile activity that I decided, just for the sake of gameplay, to take it out for the time being. I might reintroduce it, because they do continue to improve DCS and make it better. You know, each time they have an update, sometimes you do get an improvement in the performance, and not only the way it looks, but also in your FPS. So, but this is the basic mission, and I will go ahead and start it out as Game Master. So you just hit start, and you have the option to choose either NATO, which is blue, or you could choose, of course, the Russian side, which is red. And you can switch, I believe. So it's not permanently. You can spectate too. But go over to the red side. Of course, you can see you got the option to pilot an Su-27 with a wingman. You have an option to pilot the MiG-29 with a wingman. And if you do not pilot those, they won't spawn at all. So you can pilot the Ka-50 off the deck, the helicopter. Again, I want to modify this. I just haven't had the time yet. I think it's too far away to be effective, but in any case, you can fire. You can play an Su-25 as well to do ground attack, and there are Su-25s in there that are not pilotable that are part of the storyline itself or part of the actual map, and those are attacking the Tarawa with anti-ship weapons. So the mission for this Su-25 would be either taking out the APCs or taking out some of the American armor. And then, of course, you can fly the Su-33 off the deck of the Kuznetsov. So just will be the Game Master for now, just so that we can have an overview and see the whole battlefield as a whole. So this is the same map that we were just looking at. And if I want to go ahead and look at all the aircraft that are currently in queue, I can hit F2, and there are the two Su-25s and the Ka-50s taking off from the base, the Russian base. And then just cycling through here is the Kuznetsov with its support helicopter in air. Again, I did have support ships, but it really bogged down all the wakes and just all the extra computing bandwidth it took to do it right was really challenging. So you can take off here with the Su-33, you can take off with the Ka-50 here. This is the E-2D from the American side is taking off the Carl Vinson, and you can see it also has its support aircraft. And again, I didn't put the support ships near it because, again, it really bogged down the game. I might look into doing it again on a limited basis, but for now it runs well. I'm going to keep it that way. So we have A-10s taking off from the airbase that the Americans just captured, and we have carriers that took off from the Tarawa. Get back to the Tarawa. So here's the Tarawa. She's beached close to the shore. Obviously, they maneuvered poorly, or the currents were too strong, for whatever reason. There are some landing craft, some boats, landing craft on the beach up there. And then you can see the infantry. They're moving right up towards the airfield to capture the main control base, as well as there's APCs going up to support the main tank and armory and artillery up front. You can see the Tarawa is defending herself using the RIM 7 towards incoming missiles being shot at by the Kuznetsov. And if those missiles get close, she also has phalanx, which are just crazy powerful. Just rips through things. And so they're doing their best to protect her while the invasion is going on, and we're doing our best to destroy her. So up there on the hill, on the red, you can see the artillery. That's Russian artillery just moved into position there. And if you don't kill those with the Hueys, I'll show you where the Hueys launch from. Alright, so this is the American base that they just captured for the most part. There's the infantry on the back of the Tarawa moving up towards the control center. And if you were in the Hueys, they'd be right next to these transports planes. You take off there. However, it needs a client, needs one of us in order to do that. And the artillery is up there on the hill, and you better kill them quickly. If you don't, first they will attack. There's a couple Cobras there too, to come off to go support the American infantry. If you don't kill the artillery, it will destroy these hangars here, as well as the command base. And then if you don't take care of them by then, they will start firing on the Tarawa. And just about at that time, the Su-25s start making their attack runs. So it's pretty intense. So right now, the Harriers are going out to the Kuznetsov, trying to basically trying to sink her. That's a pretty big challenge, I guess, for 2 Harriers, considering the defenses that the Kuznetsov has. But you'll see what happens in any case. There's the Cobra is going to support the American armor, moving right below them, actually, directly below. And then support aircraft for the Carl Vinson. The Su-25s, they're starting to maneuver to make an attack on the Tarawa. The K-50s are steaming across the bay to support the Russian armor. In the air. So now, I mean, if I wanted to change right now, and if I wanted to not be game master, and if I wanted to go fight, I could actually go choose a slot. Just hit escape, go choose a slot, or choose a coalition even. And so that's kind of a cool feature. After this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play around. I mean, I've never served this map before, so I'm just going to play around with the server settings. Probably have them a little messed up for a while until I get it ironed out, but in any case, let's go back to the Tarawa and see what's happening with the, and she's beached here, she's defending herself. Then you can see that the Kuznetsov is firing P-700s at her, in which case she does a pretty good job. But every once in a while, one of those could get through. But what she really has to be careful of are the 2 Su-25s that are basically going to be coming inbound on her. Those missiles come in at an angle that is very difficult for the Tarawa to deal with. Well, let's go look at the, you can even look at the individual missiles on their way to the targets. This one's going to get shredded as it reaches the Tarawa. You'll see the guns come basically flying at us, shredded us, yep. Well, let's go take a look at the armor, see how it's going. Pretty soon they're probably going to be making contact. There's a couple Cobras out there in the distance that we can see, and those guys are a real threat, but there is a pretty decent amount of firepower in this column. Although they're going down the road, you can see they're starting to fire right now. Su-25s in the background too, so they're starting to fire. Let's go look at those Cobras. So the Cobras are starting to try to engage the column. They're getting a lot of anti-aircraft, a lot of it. They're trying to weave and bob and doing a pretty decent job, but it's looking grim. The other Cobras, a lot of trouble too. There's so much tracers coming up. Oh, bad news. Wow. Okay, 50s. I think I have to adjust their speed. I don't think they're moving as fast as they should. But in any case, they're en route to help the armor, and then eventually go attack the APCs over by the main base. At this time, the Carl Vinson has launched F-18s. They're set to about a 5-minute delay, just for timing. And I don't think any of us has modules for the F-18, but you could pilot these. And for in Flames, the F-14 is ready to go right off the gate. So if you choose NATO, you can pilot the F-14 right off the deck right away. So that's pretty cool. That's about it from here on out. We're just going to see how the AI plays out, and then And I'll see if I can put the server up and leave it up for a while. So if anybody wants to dig around with it and try it out, they can try it out. Back to the go back to the Tarawa and see what's happening with it. Yeah, at this point, the artillery, since no one's piloting the Hueys, the artillery has wiped out the command base at the airport, at the landing field, at the airstrip, and you can see it's basically on fire. And if no one in another helicopter or anything else takes care of the artillery up there on the hill, they will start to fire on the Tarawa, and it does a tremendous amount of damage, and she really has no defenses against it. So, you know, it is kind of time critical that you get out there and kill that artillery quickly, because if you don't, you know, they will sink it. You'll lose the objective. So let's go look at the artillery, matter of fact. Oh, SU-25 just launched that KH-29L at the Tarawa, and it's looking like it's going to hit. She tried. Boom. First hit. So let's go look at the artillery. There's the artillery, and they have started firing on the Tarawa. And they're up on that hill. And she's getting tagged now. She's getting tagged by those SU-25s, and she's also getting tagged by the artillery here on the hill. And if she catches fire, it's really bad news. She did get an SU-25. She's shooting at another one, and she'll probably get him too. Yep, he's done. But let's go look at the Tarawa. She'll probably have shells straddling all around her right now. Yep. Boom. That was just on the forward deck. Ooh, she just launched a nasty missile. And that SU-25 is gone. You see the pilot from the SU-25 from the SU-25 parachuting. Oh, she just took a direct hit on her main tower. She just took one like right on the water line too. So she's getting pummeled right now. It's bad news. Boom, she took another one on the forward deck. Bam, right on the tower. And we have shells straddling her, so if she catches fire, she's pretty much a goner. The Harriers will have to divert and land on the airfield at that time. The A-10s will automatically go there, but yeah, she's taking a lot of damage. Oh, man, now she's on fire. So that's bad news. So at this point, basically, they've captured the airbase, but you're losing the Tarawa. She's not sunk yet, and she could still, as long as she doesn't sink. If she sinks, then the objective is lost. But it's hard for them to sink her, even if you don't use the Hueys. I mean, they have to basically, the RNG has to be really good, and like almost all the artillery has to hit. So, well, let's take a look at what aircraft are still alive. Yeah, the F-18s are engaging the helicopters. Oh, there's a nasty tank battle going on. Let's go look at that. Alright, so the American armor is about to engage the Russian armor right on the road. Of course, the AI for this is of course a simulation for aircraft, so these guys AI, I could have them spread out in different formations, but Boom, the lead tank just got blasted for the Americans. Ooh, the Abrams has got hurt bad. Wow, that T-90 is really doing a number. That guy's been pretty much on fire. Ooh, he just took a pretty hard hit though. It's really interesting. It really depends on who gets the jump on who. I mean, it's really equal. And I've seen the Americans win this, and I've seen the Russians win this. It just totally depends on the RNG and kind of the luck of the draw. And if you get the helicopters, and if you get the Su-25s that we pilot in there, can even, you know, shift the tide even further. So, like how they just move through the wreckage, like they don't even bother dodging. There's some parts of this game where, you know, like the ground units don't obviously work. It's not intended to be that. It's, you know, a simulator, so. F-18s jerking around, basically doing a close air patrol. Looks like we got a guy ejected. I think got beat up pretty bad. And I think the Terror was gone. Pretty sure it's gone. Yep. The artillery did end up getting her. So that's basically the battle in a nutshell. Obviously, it goes on a lot further. It goes on a lot longer when we have pilots involved, real players as pilots, and but that's basically Operation Pagrae in a nutshell. The C-2D is going back to the Carl Vinson to basically land. I make it a point to really take out this target because it's very helpful for the NATO forces as far as radar. He survived this one because obviously as game master I'm not playing in the Su-33 or the Su-27 or the MiG-29, but he would be a high priority target. And he's gonna live this day. So, all right, fellas, just gonna look around one more time. Watch the A-10 come in on his approach. Basically going to land in park. I think the Harriers got taken out. Either that or they're on the landing field. Take a look. You can see where the artillery hit the command center. And you can see the artillery destroyed a hangar. And I don't see the Harriers anywhere. I think they pretty much got blasted. And if we go look at the Russian base, where you take off with the Su-27s and the MiG-29s. Find the right air base, kind of just cycling through all of them. There we go. If we look at the A-10, the A-10s did get that hangar. So this is basically their main. They did kill one building, so they did a pretty good job. And that's basically it. So about 25 minutes of combat, probably a little bit longer. Having real human beings playing instead of just all AI. But all right, man. Well, I post this up. Thank you very much for watching. Talk to you later.